Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for joining. Let's continue with the Radha Madhav. Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunj Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunj Bihari. Jai Gopi Janavallabha, Jai Giravardhari, Jai Gopi Janavallabha, Jai Giravardhari, Shodanandana Vrajjanaranyana, Shodanandana Vrajjanaranyana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agyantimirnasya Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saghana Raghunatham Nitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvetam Savadutam Krishna Setam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saghana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sutadevi Paran Mami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatu Brihascha Kirpa Sindhu Bevacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo 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 Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Parcharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasti Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Mukham Kruti Vachalam, Pongam Langite Garim Yat Kirpata Mandeshi, Gurum Din Taranam, Paramananda Madhav Shisaneshram, Hariyam Tassat, Narayan Namaskritya Narab Jeva Naruttam, Devim Sasvitya Tato Jem Diriyat Nashta Prasham Drisha Nitya Bhagavad-Sevayā Bhagavati Neshtaki. Hare Krishna. So thank you once again for joining, and we could share verse 16 with you. So verse up to 15 we did last time, and we are discussing symptoms of Kali and how they are prevalent. And we're also talking about the Bhumandal, how Maharaj Parikshit, he traveled the Bhumandal to meet everyone, just to just to acknowledge, because he was the emperor, and he was welcomed by everyone. Not just welcomed, just like one to one. His ancestors were glorified wherever he went, and we see like nowadays, as we're saying, that the dignitaries, when they go to a place, they may be glorified in some way. Their countries, some qualities of the countries might be highlighted as well as their own to that person. Just show a way of welcoming. So like that, Maharaj was welcomed in every place, acknowledging him the ruler as well. So let's continue at 16. So this is Maharaj Parikshit. So now we're building up to what's going to happen fairly soon. But we focusing on Maharaj Parikshit and what a great ruler he was. Sarathya Parashad Sevna Sakhya Dutya Virasana Anuka Man Stavan Pranaman Snigdeshu Pande Dushu Jagat Pranitam Savishno Bhaktim Kroti Narpatishchar Anavinde. So Sarathya, acceptance of the post of a chariot driver. Parashad, acceptance of the presidency in the assembly of the Rajasuya sacrifice. Sevana, engaging the mind constantly in the service of the Lord. Sakhya, to think of the Lord as a friend. Daitya, acceptance of the post of a messenger. Veer Asan, acceptance of the post of a watchman with a drawn sword at night. Anugaman, following in the footsteps. Stavan, for offering of prayers. Paranaman, offering obeisances. Snigdeshu, unto them who are malleable to the will of the Lord. Pandushu, unto the sons of Pandu. Jagat, the universal. Pranatim, one who is obeyed. Cha and Vishnu of Vishnu. Bhaktim, devotion. Karoti, does. Narpati, the king. Charan, Arvinde, onto his lotus feet. So Maharaj Parikshit heard that out of his causeless mercy, Lord Krishna, who is universally obeyed, rendered all kinds of service to the malleable sons of Pandu by accepting posts, arranging from chariot drivers to president to messenger, a friend, night watchman, etc., to the will of the Pandavas, obeying them like a servant and offering obeisance like one younger in years. When we heard this, Maharaj Parikshit became overwhelmed with devotion to the lotus feet of the Lord. So Lord Krishna is everything to the unalloyed devotee like the Pandavas. The Lord was for them the Supreme Lord, the spiritual master, the worshipful deity, the guide, the chariot driver, the friend, the servant even, the messenger, and everything they could conceive of. This is Lord Krishna. So we should never think that we have to serve him eternally, we are the servants. Krishna will do anything for his devotees. Although he's a spiritual master, the worshipful deity, he is also the guide, and he's also a chariot driver. He's the friend. He can be a servant as well. He loves to serve his devotees. He's the messenger and everything you can conceive of. So he's not, because he is renounced. He's not thinking, I'm God and these are just ordinary atomic creatures. No, he doesn't think like that. He's happy to reciprocate even more than we give him. So Maharaj Parikshit, as a pure devotee of the Lord, could appreciate the Lord's transcendental reciprocation of the feelings of his devotees, and thus he himself also was overwhelmed with the dealings of the Lord. Simply by appreciating the daily dealings of the Lord with his pure devotees, one can attain salvation. The Lord's dealings with his devotees appear to be ordinary human dealings, but one who knows them in truth becomes at once eligible to go back home, back to Godhead. The Pandavas were so malleable to the will of the Lord that they could sacrifice any amount of energy for the service of the Lord, and by such unalloyed determination, they could secure the Lord's mercy in any shape they desired. That is the point. If we are fully surrendered, then Krishna, he sells himself to us. He's sold to us, and we can shape him any way we want. That's why it's very difficult to get pure devotion service. It's very difficult to get love of God, because then Krishna is bought by us, and he will do anything for us. But we have to endeavor, we have to try to get his mercy, even though it may be difficult. But due to mercy of Lord Chaitanya, even though Krishna says, surrender unto me and then I will give you everything, but Lord Chaitanya said, whose appearance day is tomorrow, Lord Chaitanya says, I'll give you everything for free. Just show me a little, just little light in the tunnel, just a little hint of your devotion. That's all, just little, no big surrender, just a little hint that you may be, you may be qualified to get this just by little endeavor, and he'll give you love of God for free. This is the point, and that's the beauty of Lord Chaitanya. Krishna can be a little bit hard taskmaster, but Lord Chaitanya is here, and he's giving everything for free. So please take it. So we have here, although Krishna is the master of everything, he has no pride or arrogance and would happily serve his devotees. In the material world, people give you about half the love you give them, as we were discussing. When Sudama gave chipped rice to Krishna, Krishna gave him unlimited love. The Pandavas loved Krishna, and he also had given himself to them. When we serve Krishna, we think we are doing him a favor. It's actually Krishna giving us the opportunity to serve him. We need to become malleable to the will of the Lord, to sacrifice any amount of energy for the will of the Lord, trying to please the Lord in every way. This way you secure the Lord's mercy, as we have discussed. So in 17, Tasyevam vartamanasya purvesham vartim anvaham nati dyur kilasya charyam yad asitan nibodame. So tasya of Maharaj Parikshit, evam tas vartamanasya, remaining absorbed in such thought, purvesham of his forefathers, vritim, good engagement, anvaham, day after day, not ati dyure, far off, kill, verily, Ascharyam, astonishing, yet that asit was that which nibod, know it may from me. So now you may hear from me of what happened while Maharaj Parikshit was passing his days, hearing of the good occupations of his forefathers and being absorbed in thought of them. So his forefathers, they are such an inspiration to him. He had to live by their standards, and he had to also make them proud as well. And he had all his qualities, there was not difficult for him at all. So dharma pade ke nacharan vishayam uplabhyagam prashati samashru vadnam vivatsam ev mataram. So dharma, the personality of religious principles, or dharma, pada, leg, ekena, on one only, charan, wandering, vishayam, overtaken by the shadow of grief, uplabhya, having met, gam, the cow, prashati sma, asked, ashru vadnam, with tears on the face, but the psalm, one who has lost her offspring, eve alike, mataram, the mother. So the personality of religious principles, dharma, was wandering about in the form of a bull, and he met the person on earth in the form of a cow, who appeared to grieve like a mother who had lost her child. So we're talking about religious principles, and we're talking about the Mother Earth. She had tears in her eyes, and the beauty of her body was lost. Thus dharma, question the earth as follows. So the bull is the emblem of the moral principle, and the cow is a representative of Mother Earth, of Earth. When the bull and the cow are in joyful mood, it is to be understood that the people of the world are also in a joyful mood. The reason is that the bull helps production of grains in the agriculture field, and the cow delivers milk, the miracle of aggregate food values. The human society therefore maintains these two important animals very carefully so that they can wander everywhere in cheerfulness. But at the present moment, in this age of Kali, both the bull and the cow are now being slaughtered and eaten up as foodstuff by a class of men who do not know the Brahmanical culture. The bull and the cow can be protected for the good of all human societies simply by the spreading of Brahmanical culture as the topmost perfection of all cultural affairs. By advancement of such culture, the morale of society is properly maintained, and so peace and prosperity are also attained without extraneous effort. When Brahmanical culture deteriorates, the cow and the bull are mistreated, and the resultant action are prominent by the following symptoms. Excuse me. So, in the age of Kali, both the bull and cow are being eaten up as food, as we know. You can achieve great wealth, but not peace of mind. Peace of mind can only be achieved by protecting the cows, bulls, and the Brahmanical culture. So, when we say protect the Brahmins, we mean protect the culture of Brahmins. Then one can achieve peace and prosperity without extraneous efforts. So simply by pleasing them, you automatically attract prosperity and you will be peaceful. So that is the Vedic way, which has been lost. But thanks to Prabhupada, he has shown us this Vedic way, and we are able to benefit from it. And then other cultures, other nationalities are also able to embrace it and benefit from it. You can see when you're out there, see all the different nationalities and how they have taken up this culture. They may be Russians, they meet their friends or family and they greet each other by saying Hare Krishna. That is really uplifting when you see other cultures, other color, white body devotees, and they talk about Krishna consciousness, and their greeting is in the form of Hare Krishna. That is so nice, to see that, and it's nice that they've taken up this culture as well for the benefit for themselves and the benefit of mankind. Because Krishna's Lord Chaitanya is the moon rising, like tomorrow, full moon. He's the moon rising, he's the sun rising. And you don't trap the moon and the sun in a one small room or in a cave. You spread the light of that moon, the shining moon, the brightness of that moon and the sun, you spread it to all the people around you. Just like the sun and the moon, they shine the light on everyone. We also shine this light of Krishna consciousness by this moon rising of Lord Chaitanya onto everyone we meet. And this is what Srila Prabhupada did. He went to the west and he spread that light to everyone. Okay, so 19. Dharma vacha kachit badre namen atmaste vichasi malayateshan mukhen alakshay bhavatim anantadim dure bandhu shochasi kanchanab. So Dharma uvacha, Dharma inquired, Kashtit Veda, Badre, madam, Anamyam, quite hale and hearty, Atmana self, they unto you, Vishaya see, appear to be covered with the shade of grief, Malayata, which darkens, Ishit slightly, Mukhena by the face, Alakshay, you look Bhavatim unto yourself, Antradim, some disease within, due a long distance, Bandhu, friend, Shochasi, thinking of, Kanchan, someone, Amba, or mother. Dharma, in the form of a bowl, asked, Madam, are you not hale and hearty? Why are you covered with the shadow of grief? It appears by your face that you have become black. Are you suffering from some internal disease, or are you thinking of some relative who is away in a distant place? So people of the world in this age of Kali are always full of anxieties. Everyone is diseased with some kind of ailment. From the very faces of the people of this age, one can find out the index of the mind. So whatever you're thinking, it shows up in your face. Everyone feels the absence of his relative who's away from home. The particular symptom of the age of Kali is that no family is now blessed to live together. Yeah, to earn a livelihood, the father lives at a place far away from the son, or the wife lives far away from the husband, and so on. There are sufferings from internal diseases, separation from those near and dear, and anxieties for maintaining the status quo. These are but some important factors which make the people of this age always unhappy. So, for the sake of career and advancement and trying to earn, to maximize your earnings, people live far away from each other, but they miss them. Yet they miss them, and so peace, prosperity, happiness, these are the important things, but we sacrifice them for other benefits. So these are the symptoms of Kali Yuga. And then in 20, okay, so say Pade Neidam Shochti Meika Padam Atmanam Va Vrishale Boksha Manam Aho Suradin Rit Yagya Bhagan Praja Utsvin Magvati Avarshati. So Padehi, by 3 legs, Nunam, diminish, Shochasi, if you are lamenting for that, Mamai Ek Padam, only 1 leg, Atmanam, own body, O Rishalahi, by the unlawful meat eaters, Bokshamanam, to be exploited, Aho, in sacrifice, Suradin, the authorized demigods, Rit Yagya, devoid of sacrificial, Bhagan, She, Prajha, the living beings, Utta, increasing with weather, Magavati, in famine and scarcity, Avrashati, because of rainlessness. So, I have lost my 3 legs and am now standing on 1 only. Are you lamenting for my state of existence? Or are you in great anxiety because henceforward the unlawful meat eaters will exploit you? Or are you in a sorry plight because the demigods are now bereft of the share of sacrificial offerings, because no sacrifices are being performed at present? Or are you grieving for living beings because of their sufferings due to famine and drought? So Srila Prabhupada explains, with the progress of the age of Kali, 4 things particularly, namely the duration of life, mercy, the power of recollection, and moral or religious principles will gradually diminish. Since dharma, or the principle of religion, would be lost in the proportion of 3 out of 4, the symbolic bull was standing on 1 leg only. 1/3/4 of the population of the whole world become irreligious. The situation is converted into hell for the animals. In the age of Kali, godless civilizations will create so many so-called religious societies in which the personality of Godhead will be directly or indirectly defied, and thus faithless societies of men will make the world uninhabitable for the saner section of people. there are gradations of human beings in terms of proportionate faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The first class faithful men are the Vaishnavas and the Brahmins, then the Kshatriyas, then the Vaishyas, then the Shudras, then the Malechas, the Yavanas, and at last the Chandals. The degradation of the human instinct begins from the Malechas and the Chandals state of life is the last word in human degradation. All the above terms mentioned in the Vedas are never meant for any particular community or birth. Yeah, it's not particular community. It's what we eat and how we live. There are different qualifications of human beings in general. There is no question of birthright or community. One can acquire the respective qualifications by one's own efforts. Thus, the son of a Vaishnava can become a Malecha, or the son of Chandal can become more than a Brahman. So, if you're eating meat, intoxicating, breaking the God's rules, illicit relationships. So, but if you're not doing that, even a Chandal or dog eater, son can become a Brahman when you start avoiding all these things and take on to Krishna consciousness. Or a Brahman can become like a Malecha, and because he is not following the Brahmanical system. All in terms of association and intimate relation with the Supreme Lord. The meat eaters are generally called Malechas. So even a Brahman eating meat will be like a Malecha. But all meat eaters are not Malechas. Those who accept meat in terms of scriptural injunctions are not Malechas. But those who accept meat without restriction are called Malechas. Beef is forbidden in the scriptures, and the bulls and cows are offered special protection by followers of the Vedas. But in this age of Kali, people will exploit the body of the bull and the cow as they like, and thus they will invite sufferings of various types. The people of this age will not perform any sacrifice. The Malecha population will care very little for performances of sacrifices. All the performance of sacrifice is essential for persons who are materially engaged in sense enjoyment. In the Bhagavad-Gita 3.14-16, performance sacrifice strongly recommended. So you're not even on the ladder. If you're not performing any kind of sacrifice, you're not even on the ladder. So you come on the ladder of advancement when you at least get into the karma kant style of living, where you're doing some kind of worship, some kind of sacrifice, even if it's for your own benefit. That's when you get on that ladder of existence. So you got the karma kandis, then you got the gyanis, and you like to have the devotees. Like that, you move up the ladder. But now, at the moment, most of the population is vikarmi, just sinful. So we got the vikarmi, and then you got the karmis are the karmkandis. So anyone who's not doing any sacrifice is a vikarmi, living a sinful life. So the living beings are created by the Creator Brahma, and just to maintain the created living being progressively towards the path back to Godhead, the system of performing sacrifice is also created by him. The system is that living beings live on the produce of grains and vegetables, and by eating such foodstuffs they get vital power of the body in the shape of blood and semen, and from blood and semen one living being is able to create another living beings. But the production of grains, grass, etc. becomes possible by rain, and this rain is made to shower properly by performance of recommended sacrifices. Such sacrifices are directed by the rites of the Vedas, namely Sam, Yajur, Rig and Atharva. In the Manu Smriti, it is recommended that by offering of sacrifice on the altar of the fire, the sun god is pleased. When the sun god is pleased, he properly collects water from the sea, and the sufficient clouds collect on the horizon and rains fall. After sufficient rains fall, there is sufficient production of grains for men and all animals, and thus there is energy in the living beings for progressive activity. The Malechas, however, make plans to install slaughterhouses for killing bulls and cows along with other animals. thinking that they will prosper by increasing the number of factories and live on animal food without caring for performance of sacrifices and production of grains. So that's vikarma. But they must know that even for the animals, they must produce grass and vegetables. Otherwise, the animals cannot live. And you will not get milk, you will not get healthy animals. And to produce grass for the animals, they require sufficient rains. Therefore, they have to depend ultimately on the mercy of the demigods. Like the sun god, Indra and Chandra, and such demigods must be satisfied by the performance of sacrifice. So these are the agents of the Lord, agents of Krishna. This material world is a sort of prison house, as we have several times mentioned. The demigods are the servants of the Lord who see to the proper upkeep of the prison house. These demigods want to see that the rebel living beings who want to survive faithlessly are gradually turned towards the supreme power of the Lord. Therefore, the system of offering sacrifice is recommended in the scriptures. The materialistic men want to work hard and enjoy fruitive results for sense enjoyment. Thus, they are committing many types of sins at every step of life. Thus, however, who are consciously engaged in the devotional service of the Lord are transcendental to all the varieties of sin and virtue. Their activities are free from the contamination of the three modes of material nature. For the devotees, there is no need for performance of prescribed sacrifice, because the very life of the devotee is a symbol of sacrifice. You're not a devotee until you are living the life of sacrifice. But persons who are engaged in fruit activities for sense enjoyment must perform the prescribed sacrifices, because that is the only means to get free from the reaction of all sins committed by fruitive workers. Sacrifice is a means for contracting such accumulated sins. The demigods are pleased when such sacrifices are performed, just as prison officers are satisfied when the prisoners are turned into obedient subjects. Lord Chaitanya, however, has recommended only one yajna or sacrifice, called the Sankirtan Yajna, the chanting of Hare Krishna, in which everyone can take part. Thus both devotees and fruitive workers can derive equal benefit from the performance of Sankirtan Yajna. So that's that. So first you have the vikarmis who perform sacrifice. They have no system at all in place, so they just want to enjoy at their own whim. Then you have the karmis who do some kind of sacrifice. They follow a system, Vedas. They do offerings to God for either next birth, or they want to go to the heavenly planets, or they want a good life here, nice children, wife, and wealth. So they perform different types of sacrifices to achieve those things. But they're going through God to achieve those things. So they take an interest in God, even though I see indirectly they're going through the agents, but Krishna is happy with that. And then you have the Gyanis who don't want any sense gratification, who don't want to do these sacrifices for their own senses. They just speculate on transcendental knowledge, because they want to become one with God, right? But that is also not recommended, because you start thinking, well, if I can become one with God, that means I must be God as well. So that's also not recommended. So doing sacrifices for your sense gratification is not recommended, and trying to become one with God, liberation to one with God, is not recommended. And then you have the devotee who doesn't want to become one with God. He just wants to serve God. His life is all about service to God, not for his own sense gratification, but to please the Lord. And then higher than them is obviously the gopis, and we want that kind of mood, serve Krishna in the mood of separation. So that's the system that we follow. So, and now we are if we are devotees, we are serving Krishna for pleasing him, then we are higher than the Gyanis, we are higher than the karmis, and we're definitely higher than the vikarmis. And the beauty is that we can't jump from a vikarmi, which most of us did, including myself, jump from vikarmi straight to a devotee. It's like taking the lift. You don't have to be vikarmi, karmi, gyani, and devotee, you can jump straight from a weak army onto becoming a devotee. And Srila Prabhupada taught us that method, and we took the lift straight to becoming a devotee. So thank you all so much, and I'd like to hear from yourselves. Stop sharing. Okay, let me just pin this. Hare Krishna. So it's nice to be out there in Vrindavan, and there's a lot of realizations, and one is the fact that there's some things we are confronted with, but how these layers of Vrindavan, and when you are just like haven't taken off any layers, you just see a lot of dirt and a lot of poor people and beggars like that. You see, oh, we don't want to go there, there's a lot of this and that. But once the layers start coming off, then you start appreciating the dirt. The dirt of Vrindavan, you have to see that as something that can give you love of God. That's one of the things that give you love of God. Obviously, you protect yourself so you don't get ill, but we should not be put off by the dirt of Vrindavan, because the dirt of Vrindavan can give you the love of God. The beggars, you can't avoid them. Every 10 seconds, every 5 seconds, somebody is going to be asking you something. So what you say to them, you don't get angry at them, you don't tell them off, you just say Hare Krishna. So you appreciate that a beggar is coming to you every 5 seconds because you get a chance to say Hare Krishna. So they are benefiting you by allowing you to mention Krishna's name to yourself and to them. And one thing also note is that living in Vrindavan or living in India is so beneficial, because we go from here, we have to be so careful. When you go to the temples, they give you prasad or they give you chanamrit. We sort of thinking, should we eat it or drink it, because we might get, although it's mercy of Krishna that is there, but we have to think twice, because we don't have that same body as people living there. And even swimming in the Kunda, we managed to bathe in Radha Kund. There's other kunds that we would like to have, but you think twice that if you swallow any water, you might get ill. Whereas people living there, they're just like enjoying the kund. You think how fortunate these people are. They can enjoy the chanamrit, they can enjoy the prasads of every temple, and they can jump in Amansi, Ganga, and Sham Kund, Radha Kund. They can swim everywhere without any problem whatsoever. So Prabhupada's right that people in India are very fortunate. We're living in the West, and we just don't have their body as they have. Anyway, that's something that came to my mind. I thought I'd share with you all. So thank you so much. And we'll start with Hina Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. So nice to hear the blissful time that you've just had on your yatra, and hope you're both well. Yourself and Radharani Mataji are both well. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for coming back. missed the Sangha over last week. So thank you. So yeah, just a couple of points for me, really, from verse 16, around Krishna's love for us. I think I was thinking about how this is something we'll never really fully understand. His love for us, and how deep it is, and how merciful and understanding he is. And as you covered, just even a little bit of faith and a little bit of interest in him is all that it takes for him to come running to us. And yeah, he hooks us and he pulls us back home, essentially, because he can see there's that attraction for him. And I was actually listening to a class it was a recording over the weekend at the Manor, and we were talking about how sometimes we end up we beat ourselves up, or we think we are too fallen, or that we're not able to forgive ourselves for something we might have done, which can prevent us from progressing on this path, because we think we're so downtrodden, so fallen, how I've not got no chance in progressing very far, or Krishna might not be interested in me, or I'm beyond help almost, and it can progress or hinder our progress. But what they were discussing, that the Lord is so forgiving and so merciful, and that, you know, he loves us warts and all. It doesn't matter once we turn our way, once we turn towards him. That's all it takes, really. So that's just what I wanted to add. But thank you so much, Hare Krishna. I'm going to drop off shortly, but thank you, Hare Krishna, and welcome back.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna.
Kiran Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, welcome back.
Thank you.
You know, these verses are so amazing. Pearls of wisdom, the Vedic way, Krishna consciousness has come to save us. And the Pandavas moved on. Parikshit came on the scene. That's the way of life. It moves on. But what was streets paved with gold and jewels, the arrival of Kali made Parikshit realize something is not right. Something is amiss. And what was amiss was an idyllic heavenly abode on earth was tarnished and contaminated by immorality, by the duration of life being diminished, and the erosion of wisdom. And so these were the symptoms of Kali. Kali, we wept, and Parikshit could see this. And what we have to realize is we have to learn from the degradation of society, as is evident on a day-to-day basis, where we have to rise up and smell the coffee, see the wood from the trees, and wake up, because Kali is getting a hold on people's lives, hearts, and souls. And so what we have to do is realize that there is a peaceful and a prosperous way. There is the Vedic way, and we have to embrace that with both hands. And it is not impossible, as it was illustrated, that the son of a Chandala, a dog eater, can become the most elevated, and vice versa. Those who have Brahminical positions can fall from grace. So it's so easy to slip down the ladder, and also so easy in this age of Kali and this age of hypocrisy that we can rise very quickly. So let's not miss this opportunity to miss the boat, because the opportunity that has been illustrated by Srila Prabhupada, we need to take with both hands. And let's be karmis and not be karmis, and move with grace. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Praveen Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Coming back straight to your service. So nice to hear you had blissful time. And these verses again, they're reminding us, how Krishna, how merciful he is, and we can only conquer him by pure love. And like we say, Krishna reciprocates, but I feel even if we don't do any service, he still loves us, and he's still loving us, and he's still taking care of us. So we just have to intensify, like you said, like in material world, what we give, well, I don't think even we get half of it, because people, you keep doing things, like they say, you do something 99 times, one time you don't do, and people, they just remember that. But with Krishna, there is no loss, whatever we do. Krishna, he reciprocates, he's taking care of us. And again, the importance of hearing how Parikshit Maharaj is enjoying hearing about his forefathers, devotion and all that. And this morning we finished chapter performance of Vrindavan pastimes. It talks about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is dancing ecstatically, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is singing, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu keeps saying, keep singing, and he's not getting tired. Sankirtan party is getting tired, and in one verse it says, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ears, he extends his ears. And then I thought, yes, that's what we need to do. We have to extend our ears to hear about Krishna Katha all the time, to hear the chanting. Like we're told, when we chant, we have to hear ourselves. So how important hearing is. And then the Sankirtan Yagya, is the only thing that will save us. We can see all the points mentioned, how people are suffering, like separation from the families, anxieties, and religious principles, moral values gone, just all in the name of being modern or improving their lifestyle. Basically, it is just material sense gratification and becoming like a godless society. And I always say, that is the cause of all the miseries, depression, and everything, because people are away from God. So connection, and we are so grateful to Srila Prabhupada. He's given us everything, and that's opening our eyes and letting us live a life in the way we should be living, hearing the glorification of the Lord, our Acharyas, and then devotees like yourself, Prabhuji, giving time to help us. Yeah, and we would like to hear more realizations, because I was in Vrindavan where you started saying. So it is so nice that you're able to, because that's I had dilemma as well, when we are given Charnamrit, what we should do. But yeah, people are very, very fortunate who are living in Vrindavan. And we can only sincerely pray that we get more, service and devotion. And also it mentioned in the morning's reading how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to two devotees, one was Khan, another one, I can't remember the name. He gave them the service of providing the silk ropes every year. So we want to come to that state that where Krishna gives us our eternal service as well, that what we should be doing. So yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mata. Yeah, Krishna, once you get onto that ladder, especially, like I said, devotees higher than the Jnani and the Karmi. So once you get on the ladder, Krishna definitely reciprocates, and we see that time after time. We see every day how he reciprocates, because the weak karmis, they are controlled. Krishna hands them over to Maya to take care of them. But once you get on that ladder of devotion, however big or small, then Krishna personally takes care of his devotees. So that is wonderful. Okay, Ajay Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
There's some very nice verses here. I think actually for the first verse, particularly I need to kind of it did grab my interest that one needs to be malleable to the will of the Lord. Krishna is always trying to pull us towards him. So that sometimes we are resistant to his instruction or his hints. And if we just try to mold ourselves more to what pleases him, it becomes a lot easier. Just maybe sometimes out of stubbornness, or coming out of fear, or just you're just happy where you are at the moment because things are going well, or at least reasonably well. Yeah, there's the intensity of love for the Lord is always, there's no limit there. And that's important that we just don't settle for second best. You can have your particular ras with Krishna. You can have that intensity of the love that relationship, one which you can't really find amongst other jivas, which you can't find in this world, particularly when in material life is not there. In spiritual life, in Krishna Bhakti, there is that intensity of Krishna Prem, that Bhakti is, also make Bhakti so special. We see with the Vrajvasis, the ones that really are dedicated to Krishna, dedicated to Radharani, they're dedicated to, everything is about them. And then we see how happy they are because Krishna has reciprocated with them. Krishna is reciprocating with us. We just sometimes not willing to reciprocate back with him as much as we should. Even though we're enjoying it, we don't reciprocate as much as we should. That's unfortunate at times because rather than doing what's good for us, sometimes we try and take the easy way out. Whereas if you just put a bit of effort in, Bhakti makes life a lot easier. It gives your life focus, it gives you a sense of serenity, and then whatever challenges you will have to face, they become easy because you have Krishna's guidance and just the guidance of these devotees. I'm talking about those of good association, not just devotees in general, just those that that you can rely on. At the very least, rely on what their example, that they can help you push forward in your own bhakti. And that's the great gift of this movement, that we don't have to feel like we're doing this by ourselves. We have the support of others. We have the support of Krishna foremost, and that's very important because at times you can feel confused and you can feel lost. Then when you have Krishna fully, he's a central part of your life, then everything becomes easier and we don't have to suffer the way others are because we have our focus in life and we just need to maintain that. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yeah. Yeah, we have to, because we have free will, we have to work on our resilience, strengthen that muscle of resilience. That is up to us. Krishna leaves that to us, how resilient we are, how much of that muscle we have, strengthened. So that is us, and more we strengthen that resilience towards Krishna, the more he reciprocates. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranams to all of you. It's so nice to be back, but not nice to be back leaving the sun and the shine and the heat of the Braja of India. Although temperatures were really high when we left from here, because it was double temperatures when we went there. But soon the body was, getting used to and doing your, daily chanting, and everything felt so easy. But we have to be in our own Kurukshetra, which has been awarded to us by the Lord. We have our Kurukshetras in the west, so we have to be here, stationed here, and do our bhakti here. And Krishna sanctions the bhakti. My realization is this, and from this trip, that Krishna sanctions the bhakti, and if its kripa is not there, if Bhagwan's kripa is not there, we cannot say Krishna's name, because his name is so easily accessible to everyone thanks to Lord Chaitanya. When he came as Lord Chaitanya, which is going to be tomorrow, the advent of Lord Chaitanya, Gaura Purnima, he made this accessible to everyone. Before the advent of Lord Chaitanya, the mantra, which was the other way around, was only accessible to the higher classes. But now the bead bags, the chanting malas, it's available everywhere. The classes available on YouTube everywhere. You choose which verse you want to hear. Either you want to hear from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam or Bhagavad-Gita or Chaitanya Charitamrita, or just you want to look at the artis of going on in temples around the world. Just like clockwork, because they have got certain times when the Mangal Arti is there, then the middle, the Rajbhoga Arti, then the evening Artis. So it's so brilliant. It is everywhere, but we have to, if we are hearing it or we are able to say it, that means there is some kripa coming from the Lord. So we should be so grateful for it, because there are so many billions in this world, the jivas,
Unlimited.
unlimited. We only know about the human head counts, because this is how they do by the means of censor in the countries around the world. But they say there are jivas, there are all kinds of species. The ones who are there in Vrindavan, and even the smaller species, the monkeys, the dogs, you name it, the wildlife, the fauna, the plants, everything which is there, they have done something. But as they said, they might have missed something in their bhakti, that they have to come back again. But if they come back in the place where there is just chanting of the Lord's name in some or other form going on ceaselessly, so that is the miracle. Yes, Kali Yuga is increasing, but let Kali do its work. Kali has to do its work. It's been sanctioned by Lord, because this is how Lord checks that who is and who is not worthy for whichever next steps Lord wants us to have. Because everything is sanctioned by Lord. Not even a little thing is happening in this cosmic creation by chance. So if we have been given this chance, these verses tell us so clearly that we should be so grateful that we are doing. And I don't even think now that how I'm doing. I say just do your best and leave the rest to Krishna, to leave the rest to Mahaprabhu, who gave us this chanting, the Sankirtan Yagya. He says that the biggest Yagya for Kali Yuga is the Sankirtan Yagya. When we do chanting our own is our japa. When we do chanting with others, when we're sitting or listening, the Kirtan is going on, Hare Krishna Kirtan is going on, that's a Sankirtan Yagya. Because yes, we have to sit down, we have to focus, we have to try to give our time. That is also a sacrifice. So it's so brilliant that Lord has given us all the best of the miseries, I would say, being the jivas of Kali Yuga, but He has also given us the best and the easiest paths which we have to follow. Just 4 regulations we have to follow, and when you think of them, you think they're the best regulations. You keep disciplined and you look after yourself within those guidelines, and we can't wait for tomorrow, the Gaura Purnima, which is holy also, and has been I think more than 15 years now. We used to do this day just as holy, and now this day has become more significant. It's not just holy, where Prahlad Maharaj's aunt Holika tried to burn him, and then how it came as next day it was played and all that. But this day has also become more significant for us, because it's the advent of the glorious moon, which is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Lord Krishna in the mood of his highest devotee, and it's the best of all the days, and I'm really looking forward to it, and I extend you all my heartiest wishes on this Gaura Purnima, and I wish that may Lord Gaurachandra, Lord Gaurai, he comes into your lives with more and more depth in your devotion and your what's the word, in your endeavor, and whatever you look forward in bhakti. But it has to be bhakti, the pure bhakti. It doesn't has to be that God give me some of this for material life and please give me some of bhakti. No, God give us bhakti, because we have seen that when we ask for bhakti, everything else is provided by the God. Everything else is there, because He knows you want to be His pure devotee. The material side is taken care by the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much.
Yes, sorry, Prabhuji. Mataji, if you can share any special prayers that we should do tomorrow morning, please.
A special prayer is just this when we do the offering to to the Lordships, Bhoga.
Yeah.
That mantra we say. First is Prabhupada mantra, then it is
Muhammad Rai.
no, my head is like a bit jet lagged at the moment. You know the Gora mantra, you know, which one is it?
Mahavadana Krishna Prema
Namo Mahavadanya Krishna Prema Pradayate
Yeah.
Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gora Tvishe Namaha. I will just share that on the group as well.
Yeah.
This is
Thank
the mantra we say when we are offering. First we say the Prabhupada Guru mantra if you have got the Guru, otherwise you just start with the Prabhupada mantra, then Lord Chaitanya's mantra, then Krishna's mantra. So I think this is the only, and just do your chanting
Sincerely, that's what we have to. Yeah.
with heart, like
Yeah.
when we hear the kirtaniya say sing with the heart, and tomorrow say sing with the heart, hear with the heart,
Yeah.
give whatever have you got to Lord,
Mm.
you know, He is going to accept it. He is happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. That's what we're trying to do now. We don't listen to the audio. We unmute ourselves in the morning, all of us, and we just try to do, sincerely and loudly, so we can hear ourselves, and so yeah. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
So it has slowed down, because we are not able to finish our rounds in the morning, but we feel it, it's nice. So thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Kantra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam
Ki
Jai,
jai,
Prabhupada
Prabhupada
ki
ki
jai,
jai.
Gaur
Gaura
Premanande,
Premanande,
Hari
Hari
Hari.
Hare Hare Bol.
Thank you all so much and see you Wednesday. Hari Bol.
Krishna.